Good morning, good afternoon, you guys. My eyes are still sleepy. It is April 13th, 2021, and we have baseball tonight. We have basketball tonight. It's another night of double dip and more baseball than basketball tonight. However, we will be covering both throughout the day. We're going to have a 3:30 p.m. Eastern basketball stream right here on the channel, which will give us a little extra time to make sure we're as thorough as we need to be for today's baseball slate. What's up, Pete? Gun, my car died yesterday, and the manual said it can only be powered by the Yankees offense. Does that thing have a Higgy in it? Because if so, then you're good. This song reminds me of the Beat Up segment by Vinny on Jersey Shore. So I tried. I did. Watch. Chad, you guys want to see? I was trying to. Some of you guys might have saw a weird thumbnail to this one, by the way, but check this out, 18. This is the best I can do. If I put you on the screen, your mug is so big that it doesn't work. Now I literally just like I'm a weird Batman guy. Like that. That's as best as I could do, and it's just not. It's not gelling. It's not vibing. You're gonna go over the early slate. I mean, I can glance at it real quick, but I didn't plan on it. But if you had specific questions, like real quick, I don't mind knocking a couple of those questions out. All right, let me get back to the Yankee Stadium background. Give me some better. What is the early slate? I'll look at it real quick. It's just a 3-gamer. I probably won't break it down game by game, but I'll give you some quick knee-jerk reactions. So J-Hap contact J-Hap and Martin Perez, the same pitcher. Hap probably a little bit better, but both these guys are going to be lefties throwing to contact. Should be plenty of runs potential. It's actually 37 degrees, so wow, that's really, really cold. Nelson Cruz against a lefty, yes. JD Martinez against a lefty, yes. Those would be two guys I'd be targeting. Jesus Luzardo could probably pick up some strikeouts against this lineup. I would still roster Tim LeCastro, just an on-base machine. Zach Gallen's probably the pitcher I would target as my SP1. And then, man, SP2 is wild. Maybe just grabbing both pitchers here. I could see a Martin Perez or J-Hab sneaking in with this temperature. That is really cold. Minnesota is really cold. And then on the Mets-Phillies game, this game was postponed last night, so Walker looked decent in his first start. I really don't want to pick on this Phillies offense. I'd probably be just sprinkling bats throughout. It's just Zach Gallen and then take a shot at. I guess Luzardo has the most strikeout upside as an SP2 here. So probably those two, even though I do like some bats here. LeCastro, I could still have LeCastro in a Luzardo lineup. But yeah, I'd probably be suckered into the power bats of the Red Sox Twins, but I could see that temperature destroying my hopes and dreams. So that's the real quick version of that one. Last night, MLB, Tyler Glasnow, 47.45 DraftKings fantasy points. I believe he was like 70 on FanDuel. Just a massive, massive game from him. 14 strikeouts, 7 innings. He was the SP1. He was my only Tier 1 pitcher yesterday, and my only Tier 2 pitcher was Freddie Peralta. So worked out pretty well. I had Garrett Cole as a Tier 3. And yeah, pitching is usually never a problem for me. The stacks, though, it took a while for a stack to formulate. At the end of the night, it ended up being the chalky Oakland stack mixed with the Angels. I saw a 4-3 and a 5-3 Oakland Angels stacks at the top of my contest. Oakland, of course, was one of the chalkier approaches on the slate, but hey, sometimes the chalk will work. Ohtani 23, Mike Trout 18, and the who else? I saw Jose Iglesias in the 100K to first. It was those 3 and 5 Athletic. So it's always the simplest lineup at the end of the night, right? Glasnow, and it wasn't Peralta though. It was Inoa in that top lineup. 6K, 10 strikeouts, 6 innings, went to 82 pitches. So incredible efficiency in 82 pitches. If you guys landed on any of those guys, you should have been all right. The surprises last night, Alex Cobb, his splitter was working up until yesterday. He projected as a contact pitcher with power issues to righties. Yesterday, he had no issues, missing bats, 10 strikeouts on 5 innings pitched. His splitter was just nuts. He still gave up 3 earnings, but the strikeouts were enough to make him a very viable play. Casey Mize finally had a strong game. I was on Houston lefties. Still got the bomb out of Brantley. 5 strikeouts, 7 strong from Casey Mize. Acuna continues his tear. 2 official at-bats with 3 walks, a stolen base. Still gives you home run points. Trevor Cahill came out that bullpen. 8 strikeouts, 5 innings pitched. And that's it. Akil Baldu with another bomb for him. So he's going to continue to break my power metrics in the bomb detector. Outside of that, no real surprises. Yeah, hopefully you guys made it out alive. Pitching was fine. Stacks were just really just one stack, but it was just that sub stack that got you there, right? What's up, Lorenza? I had nothing but Peralta and Glasnow. Yeah, that's like, and it wasn't like they were low owned, right? Glasnow was really, really high owned, but it was just the right play. I can't see anything. The early slate has a 7-game slate, and Boston is playing in the snow. Is it snowing in Boston? Let me see. Boston. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. No, Minnesota. All right. Yeah, that game, that temperature is wild. Like, I would probably end up, if I was 100, 150ing that slate, I would probably end up with copious amounts of Martin Perez and J-Hap while also head stacking, just because that temperature can deaden that ball even more. And, you just get a just really cold temperatures. Like, yikes. Today's slate on DraftKings, let me double check. Last night they had the Baltimore's game in it. Okay, it was taken out. All right, lit. So we don't have to worry about the Baltimore game. They're going to run a doubleheader today, and sometimes the second game of a doubleheader sometimes makes main slates, and it's a headache because it's not a guarantee that first game ends by the time lock happens, and it just creates chaos. So it looks like both sides did the right thing, removed it from the pool, and we are not short of pitching today. So as we always do, we'll go game by game here. If you guys want to help me out and start with some good vibes, hit that thumbs up, and just be reminded that during this stream, we'll be using the RunDFS.com MLB VIP spreadsheet. And this is a premium perk of having a subscription at RunDFS.com. You guys can get access to it by going to RunDFS.com, making yourself an account, signing up for a week pass, and then clicking that VIP thread, onboarding thread, and you'll have links to the baseball spreadsheet, the basketball spreadsheet, and the Discord. And the Discord probably is the most I think valuable part of the subscription process, but the baseball spreadsheet's not bad either. EB, what up, EB? Gunn had that feeling my bad knee on Inoa when I asked about him. Yeah, I mean, again, not to be like results orientated, like he did the most with minimal pitches. Like guys like that yesterday, I didn't play because of pitch counts, and I think we said Inoa did 10 strikeouts on 80 pitches. Like very efficient. So long term, I really want to lean on 5, 6 inning guys. So I can't. It's like it's not NBA where if you miss out on one guy that goes ballistic, you lose. No, Glass now and Peralta treated me just fine, but it's like he just did the most with the least. So congratulations to Inoa owners. I was looking at him. Initially, I had Carlos Rodon, excuse me, as a tier 3 guy, and then that game got scrapped. So I was looking for another pitcher to lean. I was looking at Inoa, and then I was like, maybe a little Wade Miley, and I was just like, eh. So I leaned Wade Miley, but obviously Inoa was the better play. And 6K wasn't really like a large risk anyway. Like on a usual slate where every pitcher didn't go off, you could take a 15 DKP from a 6K pitcher, right? I think we talked about yesterday treating a 6K pitcher like a 6K bat, where could he get you a home run point? Well, that guy double donked for you. So congrats to everyone that played Inoa for sure. Glassdown was 34% of FanDuel. Yeah, yeah, it was nuts. Yankees crushed me. Oof. Yeah, a lot of offenses did, man. Pitching was a lot better than stacking than stacks yesterday. The Athletics stack did what they did. For a while, I thought the Tiger stack was going to be the nuts against Zach Greinke. And then Los Angeles did their thing, and Los Angeles was going to be one of the. I guess you really didn't need to stack them either. Ohtani, Trout, and if you got lucky with one of the other guys that did well. But yeah, when Anthony Rendon got listed as injured, I wasn't really going to stack the Angels ever, but I did have Ohtani and Trout in the pool, so it's fine. Check out the $4.20 max on DK. That's a good contest today. Yeah, I'll check it out. We'll also check out some games here. We got another night of solid pitching, a couple of aces here and there, and a couple of pitchers that I think are viable. We're going to get started. Game numero uno, the New York Yankees at the Toronto Blue Jays at Dunedin, Florida. Yankees implied run total here, 4.5. Blue Jays, 4.6. So Blue Jays a slight favorite. Yankees are going to be throwing Jameson Taillon up against Hunyin Ryu. It's going to be the second start for Ryu against the Yankees, and I believe it's going to be Taillon's second start just in general. I think he might have caught the Orioles in his first one. Let me double check on that. Yeah, he caught the Orioles in the first start. 4.2 innings pitched for him in that first game, 74 pitches. So if we can stretch out a 10, 15, 80 to 90 pitches, I don't mind looking at him. I think if I can avoid it, I probably won't pitch either pitcher in this ballpark. Temps are going to be mid-70s. We did see some strikeout stuff out of Taillon in that first game against Baltimore, but Baltimore in that series were striking out liberally, and we saw even Garrett Cole had his best game ever strikeout wise. So what we can do is maybe put some credence to the strikeouts, how we got them, but also we want to just understand what Taillon is in 2021, because it's a guy that has missed a lot of time in the big leagues, and the Yankees just kind of took a whim on him per Garrett Cole advice. So let's go check out play discipline let's go game logs and then play discipline over at FanGraphs and kind of paint a picture of what that first game brought us. 13.5% swing and strike rate on just the 53% first pitch strike. So it looks like he wasn't starting every at bat with strikes, but he was doing enough to earn his strikeouts. 13.5%. I'll take that. Pitch types. He was landing on the fastball 42% of the time. Fastball sent around 93 miles an hour. Backed it up with a slider a lot and a curveball a lot. So fastball, slider, curveball. Not really a velo spot here for him. And then pitch value, we've got the slider as his best pitch out of that game. So if we go pull up the pitch report and RunDFS.com MLB VIP spreadsheet, fastball, slider, the Blue Jays do profile decently against the fastball, and slider, curveball is kind of a mixed bag of nuts. So I don't mind putting Taillon as a stash. Oh man, 9-4 on DK, so I love you. 9-4 is a little up there. to be playing Tyon on this slate, a slate that's going to give you Bieber, Bauer, Giolito, guys like that. But at 7,500 on FanDuel, if I wanted a bad heavy lineup, I don't think it's crazy to maybe see Tyon sneak into the 6th inning, maybe get you a shot at a quality starting to win. Hunyin Ryu, a guy that's probably a little the word safer sounds hard to say, but Hunyin Ryu's been the ace of the Blue Jays, and he's been really, really good. 7 innings strong against the Blue Jays last time out. Ground ball pitcher, some strikeout stuff. He got 5 against the Yankees in his first outing, 7 in his outing against the Rangers. But he didn't really build on his pitch count. He's going to be staying around 90 pitches the first 2 games. So I would imagine that's maybe the plan for this one. I guess this early in the season, you don't really want all your pitchers to be at 110 pitches per game because it's a long season. But if you want to take some shots at Ryu, I could see it. Yesterday, Giancarlo Stanton kind of gave us I don't want to say scare, but wasn't sure if he was going to play. He did end up playing. Hicks' home run this season came off a lefty, and Judge had some pop off of lefties as well. The Yankees offense really has not looked like they have clicked just yet, but I do like all these power righties against lefties, especially lefties with a little low in velocity. So Judge, Hicksy, Stanton, even Glaber and Gary, all guys that are very viable for me today. I don't think I would high tier them as a core stack for me, but they would be a stack in the mix. Maybe that's some bias speaking, but it's just a great opportunity against a lefty. With that said, Ryu does strike out righties at a really, really high clip last year, almost 29%, and his ground ball rate was elite, 52%. So the pitcher profile is better than the hitters here, but just because of the power stats that the Yankees bats bring, I will have some of the Yankees bats. I will probably also have Hunyin Ryu as a tier 3 option for me. I'm curious to see if Tyon does make the final cut for me. Even if he didn't, I think we could stack the ballpark here. It's kind of a low run total for this game. Looking at 9 right now. This park is really, really hitter friendly, and I think mid 70 degrees temperatures could elevate here. And even if the starters gave up 1 or 2, the bullpen gets in there, and then all bets are off. The Yankees bullpen they used Chapman last night and Darren O'Day. So I don't think they sent Abreu back down yet. They didn't. Abreu actually hit the game yesterday as well. Wait, no, that wasn't yet. Abreu pitched against the Rays over the weekend. I wonder, maybe that's because there was an extra, so they didn't count it. But so today we'll probably see the same arms yesterday in a close game. It's not crazy to pitch back-to-back games. All right, pull up chat here, see what you guys got. Tell Danny I love her. Okay, buddy. What's up, Tone? Ryu's way better pitcher than Robbie Ray. Definitely. Yanks are low. What up, Willie? Yo, go on time to take that overrated Cabo. What? The house that Ruth built doesn't have a shortstop, catcher, and first base. Okay, first of all, buddy, we have a catcher. Gary Sanchez has been one of the better hitting catchers in the league this year. All right? We're taking victory laps on that. Secondly, we have a first baseman. He led the American League in home runs last year. He's coming back. Help is on the way. Give it a couple weeks. Glaber at shortstop is rough. I'll give you that one. But that's it. 1 out of 3. That's all you get from me, buddy. Let's move on to the next game. Rangers at the Rays. Projected starting pitchers for the game here. Kyle Gibson up against Ryan Yarbrough. Rangers implied run total for this one is at 3.3. Oh, yikes. Yarbrough and the Rays have a 4.3 run total. Rangers get no love on this run total. Yarbrough is, if you guys played last year, Yarbrough was more known to be an opener. But it looks like this year they want him to be a starter. Last game he went to 89 pitches. So if you just like lefties against the Rangers, and I think that's very viable and it's okay, Yarbrough's in play here. I don't think I'm going to get overly, I don't want to say cute, but I don't think I'm going to get too far away from the aces today. That's just kind of my game. I prioritize pitchers, and when the slate gives me top-of-the-line pitching options, I'm going to lean to those guys. Maybe in 150 max as an SP2, I do allow some Yarbrough because the Rangers have just been so bad. So that'll probably be my approach on that one. But it's not like I would prioritize him. Kyle Gibson is 5,600 on DraftKings. If you're playing Kyle Gibson, you'd almost take 10 fantasy points if it gave you an ace and Trouts and Stanton type, you know what I'm saying, Acuna's, if it gave you those guys. But again, I probably don't want to just forfeit that much floor and ceiling potential for my pitcher spot. 6 innings against the Blue Jays last time out, 29 DKP, 8 strikeouts, 7 ground balls, 4 fly balls. So 5.6 on Gibson, probably a little cheap. And I guess because of that, he'd make my activated player pool. I probably have to put a throttle on that because the opto would probably just say it's just too much value to sit out on. His strengths last year and really the last 3 seasons have been striking out righties at a higher clip than lefties. More than likely, Cash is going to be cognizant of that and load up on lefties. Right now, I have 4 projected lefties in the lineup. I could see 5 or 6 if they do. Meadows, Sasugo. Yeah, I could see them getting a little bit more creative. But 4 would be enough for me to not feel like I need to get involved. And then if I wanted to go at Kyle Gibson for a couple bats here, I do like Austin Meadows to profile pretty well for a homer. And then Brandon Lau as well. Again, going to be more of a pitcher-friendly park, so I'm not going to be overly aggressive on this one. But Kyle Gibson likely average at best overall, and then really weak against the left-handed hitters. So if I can get at him with some power lefties like a Lau, like a Meadows, then dip into that Rangers bullpen, which so far has been bottom 5 in baseball. I think that's fine. Looking at bomb ratings here, I got a 3.88 on Meadows, a 3.87 on Brandon Lau. Fine for me, and a high line drive rate allowed to lefties over the years too. So give me some of these Rays lefties, maybe a kiss of Yarbrough and a kiss of Kyle Gibson as well, right? Let's see what you guys got in the chat here. Rely on backup catcher for 2 home runs. Hey, our catchers catch it, and they hit bombs. Voigt's not gone. Voigt will be back probably in the middle of next month. Stanton looks terrible at the plate, chasing, awkward, and choke. Stanton does that. Literally, even back to like the Marlins days. Stanton will go through spells where he just looks lost, and then he'll go through spells where he looks locked in. If you look at the postseason last year, there wasn't like an at-bat Stanton had that he just didn't look locked in. And that's the unquantifiable streaks of baseball, right? There's hot streak, cold streak deniers, and there's portions of players' times where their timing's off, their mechanics are off, but mathematically we can't really quantify that. You just have to know that from the eye test, and that's kind of the situation for really a lot of the Yankees right now. But you're starting to see some strides forward for a couple of them. I think with Stanton, the issue for him is adjusting to being a full-time DH, and 30 minutes between. Really, an hour between at bats. That's a hard gig, but I think he'll be all right. This dude, you try to sneak Stanton in there with Trout and Acuna. Hey! Because Stanton's against the lefty. That's why that was the example. You're getting the upside of double dongers versus taking or in correlation from taking like a 5-6K pitcher. I'm not necessarily touting Stanton. I'm just saying he has the upside of a multi-homer game. Moving on to the next one. Marlins at the Braves. Pablo Lopez taking on Max Fried. Interesting matchup between 2 good pitchers, but I wonder if they draw any ownership, and 2 if we even need to get to them. Pablo Lopez has been a pitcher that has been much better at home over the course of the last couple years, and this season he's been pretty solid at home as well. And again, I don't want to overrate home road splits in general, but I do think for pitchers I can lean on it a little bit more. 5 and 6.2 innings pitched in his first 2 games, 2016 in the strikeouts, about a strikeout per inning. So Pablo Lopez at a nice 6,900 If you want to throw him in your back pocket, go for it. I think I'm going to sit this one out on Pablo. I did play him on the first 2 games. The Braves, top of the lineup, if nothing else. Acuna and Freeman have been on fire. And then, Albies and Ozuna are 2 guys I don't want to necessarily go out of my way to pick on. So a slate as deep as this one at pitcher with Pablo's historical question marks on the road. I think I'll go ahead and not really get to Pablo today. Max Fried's a name that I think I could roster. He's one of those guys that had a better results than his advanced metrics suggest. So maybe he's due for some regression. Last year, 55 innings pitched, a 4.23 Sierra, a 3.92 xFIP. Not awful, not great, but the ERA under 2 suggests that he was getting a little lucky and maybe his defense was helping him out a little bit. Nonetheless, his swing and strike rate's fine. His ground ball rate's elite. And he's going against a Marlins team that appears a little bit weaker than most, right? Not a whole lot of power and definitely some strikeout rates. A lot of 1-4s and a lot of 1-5 strikeout rates. So I could see 6,500 Max Fried being a little bit too cheap to not have a share of as a potential SP2. So I'll probably activate him in the mix, maybe cap him at 10%. Game 1 against the Phillies, we saw 18. Game 2 against the Nationals, just 2 innings pitched, gave up 8 hits, and just got in a jam. So maybe it doesn't come without some risk, but I do think the metrics suggest that the price, the value on Max Fried is still strong enough to take some shots on, at least for me. And he's another guy that I don't want he's another guy that profiles reverse split based on last year, where he's doing significantly better against righties. It looks like the luck's going to be in his maybe average allowed to righties last year, just a 197, which is dang near a 100-point drop from the season prior, and the walk rate went to 9%. So yeah, maybe there's some risk there, but I'm probably gonna take some shots here on Max Fried. 6,500 seems a little too cheap, right? Paulo Lopez first 2 games were both under 10% swing and strike rate. It's 40% all around to it. But that's a huge run spot for ATL. That's a good call. I would so far every day I've had Acuna and Freeman in the pool. I haven't really committed to a full Brave stack just yet, but this could be the day. I could get behind that. Albies, Ozuna, Travis d'Arnaud, Dansby a little bit. Acuna and Freeman. Like, there's some teams that just give me 2 guys that I'm going to play. Like last night, the Angels, Trout, and Ohtani. Like, I've been doing that every day. And every day, I've just been letting Acuna into the pool. And one way or the other, Acuna is getting there value-wise. He's shown pop, right? He has one of the best bats in baseball for power. And then he's shown a lot of speed on Sunday Night Baseball the other night, legging out an infield single that had every right to be a routine ground out to short. And he's just putting up points. 3 walks and a triple yesterday. We've seen a pair of homers in his last 4 games. He's got 4 bombs on the year. And he can still bases. So he's just such a Swiss Army knife player-wise that, players like that are just so good to roster. Kind of reminds me of, I guess, a year or 2 ago, Whit Merrifield. Just a guy that did a little bit of everything, a little pop, gets on base, steals bases. So I think Acuna is going to be one of my highest rostered players throughout this season, as long as he stays healthy. And I also think he's one of the guys I could project as a candidate for that MVP race in the NL. Just like I kind of have Byron Buxton on the list there for the AL. I don't want to say they're the same player, but both have some power, some speed, and then be getting on base. So even if I don't stack Braves, Acuna and Freeman will easily be in the pool and probably sprinkled into my main stacks. But I think that's a cool take on Lopez to get behind some Brave stacks. Newbie Yank O'Day looks legit with an effective submarine pitching now carrying Yanks. Bats need to wake up. Yankees are typically known for their pitching. I definitely, like, when I saw Fangraphs list the Yankees as the number 2 bullpen going into the season, I thought that was a little aggressive. I guess when you get a healthy Zach Britton back to give you that 8th inning and then that 9th inning for Chapman, you're just kind of bridging with Chad Green and Darren O'Day. I think the first half of the season development on Davy Garcia and Clark Schmidt is very important. I think getting the 5-man rotation solidified. It did sound like they want to get to a 6-man rotation before long, so we'll see how that plays out. Abreu has been throwing 100 miles an hour, so we get another high velo guy that we can use out of the pen. And then Luis Severino will probably be back way later this year. He'll probably start out in the bullpen as well. So I think help is on the way. Right now it's just growing pains, getting people's timing and mechanics right, and getting people to get healthy or stay healthy. But there's definitely been some question marks on like guys like Aaron Hicks. Hicks has not looked himself. He's looking like he's trying to break through it the last couple games. But other than that, like we're missing a core piece. And then Judge, there's some question marks on Judge's health. And then like that second game or that first game in Tampa, they didn't have Judge, Gio, or Luke Voit. And the defense suffered, and that was a Kluber start, I believe. And I think a lot of people are going to blame Kluber on that, which he didn't help. But that was the worst defense the Yankees could have thrown out behind him. So I'm kind of looking at what his viability will be next slate. We'll see. If anyone's playing the early, Labs just posted Nelson Cruz a scratch. So Nelson Cruz scratched. If that's the case, that makes Martin Perez a little stronger. Buxton leading off would probably be my highest owned play on that slate, though. Even in the cold weather. I don't know what I missed. Somebody got deleted. All right. Moving on to the Brewers hosting the Cubs. Kyle Hendricks at Brandon Woodruff. Another solid pitching matchup. Woodruff will be at the top of my list of guys I'm interested in today. He's just been so good to start the season. Cubs a 3.5 implied run total. The Brewers at 4.1. Woodruff last year a 32% K rate to righties, a 29% K rate to lefties, and to start this season has picked up where he left off. I think he's already had a game against the Cubs too. Last game against the Cubs, 7 innings strong, 31 fantasy points, just 74 pitches, and 8 strikeouts, only allowed 1 hit. So you would like to see his pitch count go up. It actually went down from his first start, but National League, sometimes weird stuff happens. 7,500, easily underpriced. Really no excuse for him to be 8K in that first game and then drop to 72 and only go up $300. But I'll be right there on Woodruff as a play for me today. Probably one of my favorite SP2s that we've discussed thus far, just because of his strikeout propensity. Sometimes you don't love seeing the same team in back-to-back starts with a fresh memory inside of a week. But 7,500, the potential for greatness is just too strong. So I'll be there on Woodruff. Because of that, I'm not likely to get to many of these Cubs bats. If you wanted to activate just the talent in the pool to, if they fell into a lineup or two, go for it. I probably cap Cubs exposure to 2 per lineup. And if a Aaron Rizzo or a Bryant or even a Jack Peterson showed up, sure. On the Brewers side, we've seen their offense kind of wake up a little bit over the last couple of days. Kyle Hendricks, soft toss and righty. Not going to give you much velo to work with. Because of that, he induces a lot of soft contact, a lot of bad timing from swings. All of his pitches last year were graded positively on that linear scale. A 0, almost a 1 on the fastball, a 1.7 on the curveball, and a 1.24 on the changeup. And you see the velo, 87 on the fastball, 72 on the curve, 79 on the changeup. And in today's age of baseball, where players are tuned up, geared up to swing at 101, it's crazy to see such low velocity be successful, but it is. However, it's successful in the way that Zach Greinke's been successful, right? No velo, just kind of gets through a game, a lot of ground outs. There is a propensity for the blow-up spot like we saw with Greinke yesterday. And much like Greinke, Kyle Hendricks has shown some leaks against righties, a 285 average allowed to righties last year, and over a 1 home run per night in the last 3 years against righties. So maybe Locaine, Avi Garcia, those type of cats profile well here. I'm probably not likely to get to a stack of either team. I would just be activating the talented guys to fall in my lineups when I'm scripting around the core stacks I do like. Cubs just a 3.5 implied run total. Brewers at 4.1. So more interested in Woodruff from this game. Couple of one-offs on the talent. That's it. Cubs can't hit a big beach ball. Yep. What's up, Princeton? Appreciate you stopping by. What's up, Tony A? Good morning. Your insights definitely helped me in MLB. Man, I appreciate that. I had a few people like last night. I was chilling on Twitch and definitely seeing some people starting to understand MLB. And if I can help with that, I'm happy because my goal is to create more love for MLB DFS because them dog days of summer get lonely out here. August, I'll be on these MLB streams with 5, 10 of y'all, and we just out here grinding. You know what I'm saying? And I just think the sport is more beautiful. During those days, those night games, those night slates every day are great, and it just I don't know, just every pitch is a chess match to me. It's just a beautiful sport. So I'm glad that some of you guys are giving it a second chance or third chance, and going about it the right way. Like there's definitely a lot of bad ways to start your MLB DFS. I don't say career, but like if you don't know where to start or what to look for, it can be very confusing. And if you came in as a casual, BVP might allure you, or ERA and stuff like that. Like that type of stuff is borderline useless for me. And what we've done is we've designed everything that I do value highly as part of this spreadsheet, and that's just what I'm using every day to give you guys some spins and explaining what the numbers are telling me, and then hopefully it plays out for you guys. Another solid pitching matchup here. Steven Strasburg and Jack Flaherty. Nats at the Cardinals. Nats implied run total 3.5. Cardinals 3.6. So this might be one of the lowest run total games I've seen on the year. I don't know what Scherzer versus Kershaw was, but this one could be right there with it. So a game total of 7. Pretty doggone low. We'll start with Strasburg here. Is this his season debut? It is not. He went 6 strong against Atlanta, 85 pitches, 27. So Strasburg, when he's not injured, he's really good. And there is a tongue-in-cheek rule, whether you believe it or not, to play him when it's not hot. And right now it's projected to be under 60 degrees. So Strasburg at 8,400. I mean, this is a World Series MVP caliber player. Definitely somebody at 8,400 comes in way too cheap against a righty-heavy Cardinals lineup. So I would absolutely be on some Strasburg here as one of my... is tier 2 a little strong? He might be a tier 2 for me. Jack Flaherty on the other side. Also profiling pretty well. Extremely high K stuff to both sides of the plate last year. Home, xFIP, and Sierra was strong. The ERA a little bit higher, but they expect some positive regression. Usually that suggests he got a little unlucky defensively. And you can say what you want about Goldie and Arenado offensively and if they're in the twilight. But defensively, they're still as good as they once were. Overall, though, when you look at these two lineups, it's very top-heavy. Trey Turner, Juan Soto, Josh Bell, the 3 guys that bat over 280 against righties in the top of that Nats lineup. Everyone else bats 240 or below. The caveat here is there's not a lot of high strikeout numbers in that, so maybe Flaherty's a little bit more of a if I get there, I get there. But on the Cardinals side, their best hit for average guys are 1 through 4, and then it bottoms out. Dylan Carlson, Paul DeJong, Matt Carpenter, Justin Williams in the pitcher spot, Jack Flaherty, all guys striking out at 24% or greater, and probably on average sitting at nearly 28-29%. So perhaps a couple of strikeout to sides in the bottom of the lineup if he can navigate through the top of the lineup. So I do think 8-4 on DraftKings for Strasburg is way too cheap. 10-4 on FanDuel. There's going to be competition at that price point. At the top of the list here, we got Bieber, Bauer, Strasburg, Giolito. We got some big boys, right? But 8-4, like the value is too strong there. And put him in a pitcher's park, put him against a righty-heavy lineup. I'm going to be a buyer. Not really that interested in bats from this game. Again, if you just want to bet on talent, I think Juan Soto is probably my favorite individually talented guy. They did get Josh Bell back yesterday. I think they also got Kyle Schwarber back yesterday. Like if you wanted to go crazy here, I guess Flaherty does have a home run bugaboo to lefties. Last year at 1.74, year prior almost a 1.3. The hard contact is a little bit elevated to lefties and a line drive rate as well. So Soto would probably be the main guy from this game that I would target if I did get here. Let's get caught up on chat. Andrew, yo Gun, your 10-minute video breaking down the pitcher stats has me on all the right pitchers so far. Let's go. I appreciate it. See, Andrew, that's what I'm looking for. I try to simplify it and get you guys in the right spot, It's so easy to suffer from paralysis by an analysis. Like I could probably spend most of these stats to tell you. I could probably come up with a way to tell you that Victor Robles is a good play, and clearly you see he's not. By the way, I could probably zoom in on this and give you guys a deeper look. Let me see. Is that better? That's probably better. Chad, you should have said something. Tommy, what's up, Tommy? Anyone else notice the massive price jump on Bucks on DK? I know you'd be raking, but if he's going to be high on early, say it could be a good leverage fade. Yeah, I on 3-game slates, I would imagine Bucks is really high on it, and if any, like the Cruz ownership probably also just turned into more Buxton for the ones that weren't doubled down already. Yeah, if it's a pure game theory leverage fade play, like go for it. But yeah, I would really like Buxton a lot, and he's just one of the in the leadoff spot. He's just really good. He's just really good. Let's move on to the next game here. Jay Gordorizzi for the Astros hosting Matt Boyd of the Tigers. Implied run total for the Tigers 3.8, 5.3 on the Astros. Looks like Minute Maid might have the park open tonight. A lefty in Matt Boyd. Boyd does have some swing and miss stuff, but he has been pretty wild and hasn't been able to put it together. A 300 average allowed to righties last year, and a home run per 9 to righties the last couple seasons. Almost at a 2. 1.92 in 2019, 2.6 last year. Plenty of power bats here for the Astros that bat from the right side. Alex Bregman has a 4.42 rating on the bomb detector. Usually a rating that high is a victim of extremely shallow sample size, but Bregman's been around for a cup of coffee, and so has Matthew Boyd. So this looks like probably the deepest call my bomb detector's ever had for sample size, because I imagine there's and the gap between Bregman and number 2 is wild. So Alex Bregman going to be one of the home run calls mathematically based on the bomb detector. And if we maybe parlay that with the pitch report, Boyd throws fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Bregman plus. Literally dominates all of those pitches. So Alex Bregman should be the cover boy, but F the Astros. So Bregman, elite play tonight, 3,900 on FanDuel, 5K on DraftKings. Get him where you can get him. Yordan Alvarez, short sample size, but he's raked just fine against lefties as well. And last year was the first year that Boyd did not have a high home run per 9 to lefties, and perhaps he's due for some regression in that regard, but it was backed up by a low hard contact rate and a low fly ball rate. So I'm okay with saying that Matt Boyd could be better against lefties home run wise, but I still think the Astros are very much in play here. Probably going to be one of the higher owned stacks on the slate, and I'll be right there with it. Like, I got no pushback on it. The Tigers bats. Jay Gordorizzi is a fly ball pitcher. You see his fly ball rate last year to righties was at 40. Actually, that's only 13 innings. So let's maybe work on the 2019 metrics a little bit harder here. 42% fly ball rate to righties in 2019 with a 43.4% hard contact rate. 36, 37, 38% is about the average. So when you get to 40 plus, that means you're really, really leaking. And like 43, 45, like we're talking Madison Bumgarner rates. So a lot of hard contact allowed by Jay Gordorizzi, and the fact that he can be a fly ball pitcher, or that he is a fly ball pitcher, does give up, or does afford for the opportunity of home runs. The Tigers lineup, generally speaking, projects pretty weak. I think Akil Baddoo is the guy that's going to profile well for a homer. Right now he's at a 3.97 unweighted bomb rating. The thing with Baddoo that I'm hoping the Tigers do is let the kid earn his spot higher in the order, because so far he's been really, really good for them. But the rating that I use to make my player pool is never going to rate Baddoo extremely, extremely well because of his spot in the lineup. But man, he's batting 368 on the year. He's got a bunch of bombs, a couple extra base hits. He just deserves to be up. So I'm going to have him in the pool. I'm probably going to have to manually adjust his rating. But in the 8 spot is yucky. I would love to get him like 5, 6. I don't expect him to be in the top 4, but he definitely deserves his way up to give me 4 or 5 guaranteed spots and hopefully with a couple base runners. Also, a guy that I don't mind here is Wilson Ramos on DraftKings 3,400. He's already got like 4 homers on the season. Just a great opportunity cost to have a catcher in the cleanup spot. The run total for the Tigers is kind of low, but we saw yesterday. I think the Tigers are just going to be a team that gets no respect in terms of Vegas totals or any like us playing pitchers. Like I understand they're bad, but man, and chipping a chair in the right spot. And last night they stunned Greinke, and I could see a contact fly ball guy like Odorizzi allowing a couple bombs here. So I'm not gonna stack the Tigers per se, but give me a little bit of Badu and a little bit of Ramos, and then all the Astros. We're stacking Astros today, unfortunately. That's it. Nothing on that one. All right, chat. Let's move on to the next game. White Sox hosting the Cleveland Indians. Shane Bieber. His mama don't like you, and she like everyone. Taking on Lucas Giolito. This one should be a pitcher's duel. Should be featuring 2 of the better young studs in all of baseball. Implied run total for this one, 3.3 on the Indians, 3.3 on the White Sox. We are gridlocked at minus 104 on each, and a game total of 7. A pitcher-friendly temps under 50 degrees. I'm in agreement with the prices and everything suggesting that both pitchers should be in really, really good spots. I do think that offenses are on a normal slate, not necessarily a team I'm going to run out of my way to target. I think the Indians, the jury's still out on them being elite or not. Their strikeout numbers, however, against righties, just 3 of them strike out well over 20%. Against righties, Franmil Reyes, Roberto Perez, and Jake Bauers. But on the White Sox side, a little bit more strikeout potential for Shane Bieber in a lineup that's already without Tim Anderson and Eloy Jimenez. Luis Robert, Jose Abreu, Moncada probably average a 25 to 28% collective K rate to righties. And then Yasmani Grandal and Nick Williams also there in the mix as well. So kind of scattered through, and then you bank on the talent to grab extra. You want to strike out per inning if you're rostering either one of these pitchers. You feel like Giolito is coming at a little bit more of a discount. That's fine. Sub 10K. He has an argument for 20 plus DKP, 25 plus. The same with Bieber. 11-2 on FanDuel, 10-7 on DK. I think the FanDuel pushback for me here would be you can't bank on the win in this game with 2 studs. And win points are weighted pretty greatly on FanDuel, as is the quality start. So like if you're looking at the top of FanDuel and maybe you obviously Trevor Bauer's a little bit cheaper, you probably bank on the Dodgers getting a win over Senzatello, a little bit stronger than the Cleveland offense if they had the same game strikeout wise. And then going down a little bit more, there are some discounted options. So I don't know that I don't think this slate's going to give us that 40-50% owned pitcher like we have been seeing like most of the slates so far. We've seen a DeGrom slate where he was 50%. We saw last night Glasnow sitting around 50% in most of my stuff. I think today might be a little bit more spread out, which would make the decision making a little less stressful, right? If everyone's 20% and everyone has a solid game, those win points don't necessarily restrict you from cashing. But just kind of think about that as you're making your FanDuel decisions. On DK, where it's more of an efficiency site and the win's just a +4, you're not really getting too crazy with +4s, 2 strikeouts. Sure, but on FanDuel, you got to think about that win a little bit harder. And at 11-2, Shane Bieber would likely need to be the highest scoring pitcher. I don't want to say the highest, but he probably needs to at least be in the conversation for highest scoring pitcher at that price point to win a tournament for you. If we got to the 60 fantasy point threshold on FanDuel, I think we're cooking with peanut oil. Giolito's a little bit tougher. 17% swinging strike rate at home last year. Just dirty. Not at home, overall. Why did I say at home? That last game for Giolito, a little bit tougher, but he did get through 27 DKP. Hasn't gone 6 innings yet, but the pitch count suggests that he should be able to have the opportunity at 6 innings if he can be more efficient. 8 and 10 strikeouts the first 2 starts. Maybe one thing you can do on DraftKings is throw these guys at each other in the same lineup, and then hopefully you get the win somehow by hook or by crook, and then maybe they combine for 18 to 20 plus strikeouts, and then you just go from there. But generally, like, there are some talented bats on both of these teams. I don't have any egregious home run bomb ratings here. Yerman Mercedes is at a 3.96, so that is high, but I also think that is a product of low sample size just this season. So not a ton of at-bats, and he has been great in those at-bats. So we could see some pretty significant regression to these amazing numbers. He could still be good, but is he this great? No. And then on the Indian side, I don't have any crazy bomb. Jose Ramirez and Eddie Rosario have a 3.77 to 3.8 bomb rating. So up there, chipping a chair for a homer. But that's it. You guys got anything on this one before we move on? MLB has been great about putting lineups out. Yeah, they really, who's been the MVP of lineups is the Cincinnati Reds. Them suckers are almost out before I get out of bed. And like tonight, they play at like 10 p.m. They've been playing deep into the night the last couple nights, and their lineup is just ready to go. It's like no playing around. Like, yep, these guys are playing tonight. There's some teams that get a little bit more wishy-washy, but the Reds are just the goats at putting out lineups. They're like the anti-Rockies, Let's move on to the next game. Dylan Bundy and the Angels up against Danny Duffy and the Royals. Angels are sitting on a implied run total of 4.6. The Royals on a 4. We got a 54-degree game time temp projected here. Ohtani, Trout in the lineup. So I think Anthony Rendon was put on the IL, which does kind of suck because I love Rendon against lefties, especially a lefty that plays a little bit more to contact than not. However, David Fletcher, Ohtani, Trout, and maybe even Upton kind of tickle me here as guys that I would get exposure to. Even Kurt Suzuki, 330 average against lefties, 388 WOBA, and a 550 slugging against lefties. Definitely would be in the mix for me if he is the catcher today. And I think he might be Bundy's caddy. So I do like the Angels stack again. The Kaufman might suppress some upside, but Trout and Ohtani are just ridiculous. So I will be on some Angels. The Royals, man, I want to believe. I keep going to bat for the Royals, saying that they're probably extremely underrated with the talent that they do have. And then Alex Cobb goes out there, hits the legendary mode on his splitter, and just gets 10 strikeouts. So this will be where I get trolled, right? This will be where, I think Dylan Bundy's a better pitcher than Alex Cobb. So it only makes sense to play Alex Cobb in his elite righty splits against a lineup that might throw us, two scary lefties and Benintendi, Santana, and then Kyle Isbell and Nicky Lopez. It seems like Dylan Bundy should dominate here at 8-8 and be a 25 fantasy point threat. But this will be the game where the Royals troll me. Nonetheless, we got to play the numbers. And the numbers say, hey, Dylan Bundy's perfectly viable in this spot. He's one of those extreme splits guys where you want him against a ton of righties and want as little lefties as possible. Strikeout numbers go down significantly against lefties, and the home run numbers have been higher against lefties. Some of this sample size is from Camden Yards, I think 2019 and beyond, and then last year, and you put him in that more pitcher-favorable park in Los Angeles, it did dip below 1 home run per 9, and we really didn't see a change in the makeup of his metrics, right? Like the hard contact is about the same to lefties, the fly ball rate not that staggering different, so it just looks like maybe the park adjusted for a little bit more of baseball staying in the park than not. So in Kaufman, I'm fine with that. Playing more pitcher friendly here, temps are good for pitchers. I probably have some Bundy here as an SB2. As a FanDuel option, maybe. So FanDuel, if I'm making 150 on FanDuel, I really don't want to go past 4 or 5 pitchers. I really just want 20%, 20%, 20%. If I'm that dead even, if I know for sure my number one is my number one, then I'll go 50%. But today I could see a wide range of outcomes. So I probably just want to find 4 or 5 pitchers for FanDuel. I guess he starts the early conversation, but I probably will be able to have enough pushback where I'll lean on some of the more upper echelon guys like the Biebers and Giolitos and Trevor Bauers, guys like that. But I think on DraftKings, 8.8 is perfectly viable for 20 plus fantasy points. Danny Duffy, probably not. Right? Probably not. I think I can live without Danny Duffy, even if he does go full fake mode. Got 24 against Cleveland. Talked about Cleveland being a little bit on the jury's still out on them. Less than a strikeout per inning. A bunch of fly ball outs. If you're going to let Mike Trout hit a fly ball, I'm there on Mike Trout. Mike Trout has a bomb rating at almost 3.9 today. Upton's going to be up there as well. I'm going to be more on the Angels offense than Danny Duffy as an option. So no Duffy, give me some Bundy, right? What up, Mopar? How we doing, buddy? What's up, Nick? What up, Tony? Reds just came out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, for me, it's not even 1, and that game was at like almost 10. Or I guess maybe 9, my time. How we doing, boys? If you guys are just dropping by, show some love. Hit that thumbs up. And double check. See if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, help me out. Hit that subscribe button. Speaking of the Reds, we have 2 games left on the docket, including the Reds game. I believe this is a great opportunity to take a pause for the cause and plug our friends at PrizePicks, because if you guys want access to this spreadsheet, you can get it without opening that wallet for me and opening the wallet for PrizePicks. Go to PrizePicks.com, make yourself an account, sign up using referral code GUNDACKER, and they're going to hook you up with a $100 instant deposit bonus, an instant deposit bonus up to $100, meaning they'll double your first deposit up to $100. You sign up, drop $20 on it, they're going to make that into a 40 bomb, and then you can go around playing on the site. And the site is player props meets parlays. It's a beautiful thing. You can have a 2-leg parlay, you can have up to a 5-leg. There's flex pay, and there's stuff for every sport: NBA, baseball, esports, cricket, whatever you play. There's probably something on there. Even golf, they have golf on there, and then they also have golf where you can bet on like longest drive distance and stuff like that. I don't play golf, so I don't know, but yeah, there's good stuff there. So if you guys sign up, you're gonna get a big bonus just by signing up using code GUNDACKER. You get a bigger bonus if you hit me up, be like, "Yo, Gun, I signed up. I used your code. Now what?" I'd be like, "All right, bro. Go to RunDFS.com, make yourself an account, and in the morning when they send me my sheet of people that signed up, I'll add a week pass to your account. Boom, that's it. Boom, week pass." VIP spreadsheet access and Discord access. And if you already have an active subscription at RunDFS.com, we will add another week to it. And that's the promotion. And that's it. And that's amazing. I think next week we might do something with T-shirts for that as well. But yeah. What's up, Sean? How we doing? You guys do all right last night? Next game on the docket. So the Reds lineup did come out. So let me double check, make sure. We got Winker, Casti, Votto, Eugenio, Moustakas, Senzel, India, Tucker Barnhart. All right, so that's actually the projected lineup. So we're going to go ahead and confirm that in the spreadsheet. And boom, we got Louis Castillo taking on Kevin Gossman in Oracle. Wind blowing out the dead center. 50-degree temps here. 9:45 p.m. Eastern is the start time for this one. Again, 2 pitchers that I think would be viable if we didn't have just a amazing option at the top end of pitching today. I think Castillo, talent-wise, 7-1 is probably a little too cheap. So yeah, SB2, I can open that up to him on DraftKings. I don't know if I get there on FanDuel, but he's absolutely viable on FanDuel if you wanted to stress or save a couple bucks. That last start for Castillo, we pulled that up. Went a lot better than the first start. 7 innings strong against Pittsburgh. 5 Ks. You want the strikeouts to be higher than that if you're playing Castillo. 81 pitches, again, plus 10, plus 15. Could we get to 90, 95? Would hope so. But Castillo's a guy that you want to be a strikeout. I mean, you're playing him likely for strikeouts. A high velo guy. So I'm curious to see what's been happening and why he's not been getting strikeouts through 2 games. So let's go to his game log on FanGraphs, and first thing I want to do is check out his pitch type, see if his velo is where it needs to be. 96 on the velo. I feel like he was higher, but I could be wrong. Let me go all the way down. He was at 97 average last year, so velo is a little bit lower than you want it, but that's fine. Early on, we could see pitchers building their arm strength back, but that could be part of the problem. Then 30% on the slider in game 1. It doesn't look like he touched the slider in game 2. He just went fastball changeup. So if we look at the pitch report, changeup is, yeah, man, if he abandons changeup at 88 and slider at 86. Let's go see slider at 83 in the first game. Changeups at, so even a slider dropped. So that's interesting. Might be worth digging into some more. And then next one, let's check out the swing and miss stuff. 15% swing and strike rate. So he definitely looked like he was due for some more strikeouts. You like to see the first pitch strike closer to 70% like he did in game 1. But a 15% swing and strike rate is enough for me to think that maybe that's just some anomaly in numbers. But the velo is concerning, and whether or not he's going to be use that slider is something to watch for as well. You're gonna be a 2-pitch pitcher, fastball, changeup. It's not impossible, but a little bit weird. So look out for that. 7,100. I still think he's more talented than 7,100 on DraftKings, so he'll probably be activated as an SP2 option. Might cap him at 10%. It's going to get the benefit of probably the most pitcher-friendly park he'll pitch in this season. And yeah, so give me some Gossman. I want some more strikeouts, though. Strikeouts in this Giants lineup. I got Yastrzemski at 26% against righties, 23% on Longo and Crawford, and then Austin Slater and Gossman, 38 and 63%. So if we can steal a strikeout per inning, get through 6-7 as an SP2, get me 20, I'll take it. Kevin Gossman, I probably don't get there on him, although last year at home he was just fine. A 3.35 Sierra, 3.21 xFIP, and almost a 15% swing and strike rate through strikes. On a normal slate that didn't give me all these upper echelon options, I could see myself getting to 6,800, and maybe I still activate him in 150 lineups and allow up to 5-6%. But I'm probably a guy that's just a sucker for Reds this year. It's such a fun offense, and I just love how it's built. I think Jesse Winker at 2,800 continues to be one of the biggest misprices on the site. He's just really, really good. His exit velocity is sharp. His batted ball data is really, really good, and he shouldn't be a 2.8K price bat. And in the leadoff spot to have 5-6 opportunities, it's just the opportunity cost is too great there. So Winker will continue to be one of my higher owned one-offs, but I will also against maybe better judgment on the park factors, I'll also probably be on some red stacks. Gossman's one of those reverse. I don't say reverse. The last 2 years he's had really good strikeout stuff to lefties, but he's also given up some homers. 1.57 home run per 9 to lefties in 2019, 1.35 to lefties in 20. I could take a Winker and a Moose shot here, and then Eugenio and Castellanos. Votto's kind of like that ugly name in the middle of it, or you don't want to click it, but in a stack, he'd probably be in the mix as well. So I'll probably have more red stacks than Gossman exposure, but that's not to say I wouldn't have no Gossman exposure. But kind of a low-scoring projected slate, right? I don't play much MLB, but I want to get better and not throw money away. That's what's up, Mopar. What's up, Tone Loke? Are Angels better against lefties this year? I think when they're fully healthy, the Angels will probably profile better against lefties. But I think they're going to be good no matter what, the top of the offense. Ohtani is shown to be just fine to both sides of the plate. Trout's all right. He's no Aaron Judge, but Mike Trout's all right. Justin Upton, we like him against lefties. Obviously, Upton's in the twilight. And then Anthony Rendon. Love Anthony Rendon's bat against both sides, but love him against lefties as well. And then even David Fletcher has a case to be a high contact on base guy at the top. So I will like him more against lefties, but I think they'd be just fine against both sides of the plate, you know? Just curious, again, what position do you start building your MLB lineups, if that makes sense? What position? Pitchers. I got to have a pitcher pool first. Once I have my pitcher pool, like every stream we do is usually just me breaking down pitchers. We know what pitchers we want, and then the pitchers we don't want likely mean those are the pitchers we want to pick on. So definitely start with pitching, prioritize pitching. That's probably the position with the most predictive value because their skill plays out. Like you get, instead of 4 opportunities to score points, you're getting 90 to 100 pitches. So pitcher. Got him late. What do you think of Kyle Gibson? I think Gibson's cheap enough to punt as an SP2. I think that's kind of the case with a lot of pitchers today. Like a lot of guys fit the bill as an SP2 guy, but I'm kind of I love having like two aces in lineups and going at it because I do think like there's not a game like that. I think the Astros, maybe we'll get to the Dodgers, but right now I only say the Astros. Yeah, Astros the only team with an implied run total of 5. So the numbers are telling us it's going to be a pitcher-friendly slate, kind of like last night. So I want the highest upside for my pitching tonight with that information. Obviously, the Dodgers and Astros are the exception here. But if I can get dueling 30 bombs at the pitcher spot, that's probably what I want. So I do think Gibson's fine. But Gibson, if I'm playing Gibson, it's one of those play him as a bat, like a 6K bat, and hope for home run points because he's 5'6" on DraftKings. And I don't know if 15 to 18 gets me to the top if I can get two guys at 25, 30, even 30 plus. So I think he's fine as the SP2 punt to maybe fit in some of those Astros and Dodger stacks. But I also feel like I don't need to get that creative because pricing isn't ultra egregious, and look at the pitchers on the slate, man. We have the big dogs: Bieber, Bauer, Giolito, Bundy's in a strong spot. Strasburg's price point on DraftKings, I don't get it. I don't understand that. 84, that's ridiculous. And then Brandon Woodruff as well, 7,500. So a guy like Gibson, it just I don't think he's needed today. With results be darned pre-flop, like the metrics pushing me the other way. I don't really feel like I need to get to Gibson. I do like Austin Meadows and Brandon Lau against Gibson for bombs. All right, next game on the docket, the main event, Rockies at the Dodgers. Antonio Senzatella up against Trevor Bauer. Bauer mowed down the Rockies in Coors and then probably came out and stayed out a little bit too long, and an elite start where he was well on his way to 40 fantasy points turned into a disaster as he gave up 4 earnings in that last inning. His first 2 starts on the road, 6.1, 6.2 innings, 110 pitches. I've got to believe he's the longest leashed pitcher in the league right now. And this is just, I don't want to say a can't miss spot, but this is a really, really good spot. Making his home debut. He's the largest favorite on the slate. So on FanDuel, I think that means something, right? The highest pitch count, the largest favorite with 10 strikeout upside. You got to assume Bauer is the checklist guy for FanDuel, because I think that +6 for the win, that +4 for the quality start will mean something. Not that Shane Bieber can't get it, but the Indians offense is going against the ace. Same with Strasburg. Like all these other offenses are tough pitcher versus tough pitcher or janky offense, and Bauer just seems like the best of the litter when it comes to having the matchup super plus. He might have the best matchup of all these aces, and having the best shot at the win where his offense gives him the run support. So Bauer, just by process of elimination, probably the FanDuel chalk. But I don't know that chalk is 50% tonight. I think chalk might be more like 30%. So, no reason to overanalyze Bauer's spot. He's just in a really good spot. High K stuff. He is under investigation for substance on baseballs or whatever. So if there was something to it and now he's not using substance because he knows he's under the microscope, maybe we'll see that. But for the most part, this Rockies team just is not good. And you put them on the road, you got to imagine those road splits are going to make them even weaker. Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon, really 2 bats I'm worried about. I can use Bauer with a decent level of confidence. Last year, a 34% K rate to righties, 36% to lefties. He's in play. Senzatella, pure contact guy against the Dodgers offense. If Mookie's back in this lineup, he has missed a game or two. If he's back in this lineup, him, Seager, Turner, all guys very viable. Seager becomes one of my favorite plays again. 3,900 on FanDuel, probably a little too soft. Probably should be a 5K player on both sites. He's 5.5 on DK. Who else is? Oh, no Bellinger. Still no Bellinger. I was gonna say who else is missing, but yeah, Dodgers offense is just in another spot to thrive. So the thing with this Dodgers team though is Dave Roberts will do a lot of subbing and switching. So if the Rockies do bring in a lefty, I know they picked up Chris Rustin again. I don't know if that he'd be available this quickly, but if the Dodgers do bring in a lefty, you might see like a Chris Taylor come in to spell somebody. If he's not already part of the starting lineup. Same with AJ Pollock. AJ Pollock's not a guarantee to start with the way that their roster is constructed. But Mookie, Seager, Turner, those are the safer guys. Max Muncy's probably strong. And then if Will Smith's the starting catcher, he's really expensive on DK. But yeah, Dodgers and Astros look like they're going to be the two most sought after offenses. And then, like I said, Bauer checks all the checks on FanDuel. So that's that. Anything else you guys got on this slate? Questions, comments, concerns, throw them at me. In about an hour and a half, I'll be back for some NBA chat. So if you guys are working on some NBA tonight, you want to hang out a little bit more, I will be here. I may be joined by Raj. Not sure yet. If you're on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker, DMs are open if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, especially pertaining to VIP. Hit me up. It's snowing in Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota's wild. My girl's from Minnesota. I went up there in January, and driving on those roads was wild. I was just like coasting. Stop signs are not necessarily always obeyable. I'm out. You're at the game, T-Spaz? Wow, Votto hit a homer last night. Attaboy, Votto. Worried that Bauer only gets around 45-50 on FanDuel, and a cheaper pitcher can get there with a quality start and win. Is that a worry, though? I mean, 10 strikeouts in both of his first starts. I think the quality start. No, he's gotten over 6. I don't like that could happen, but is there a reason why that you're worried about that? Like he's done 6 innings the first 2 games. Give you that shot at the quality start. The 100+ pitch count is just bananas. I don't know. I think 50, 60 is fine, and he should be pretty strong for the win. And I don't think we saw that. We didn't get the quality start or the win in the first game, right? So he was well on his way to a 53. I don't know. I get the concern that he wouldn't be the highest scoring pitcher, but like the reasoning there, like should be set up for the win. It should be set up for a quality start, and the pitch count isn't going to be that much of an issue. But there's plenty of great pitching options today, so I wouldn't be married and committed to playing Bauer at like 100%. But would probably be my highest tiered FanDuel guy. Tony says Bauer, Bieber, and Giolito. Who has the highest upside in your opinion? Probably Bauer. And the reason why is his pitch count's dumb. His pitch count being at 110, like that's a rubber arm. He's probably going against the weaker offense. Bieber going against some, the AL MVP, Jose Abreu, and a couple strong bats, and Giolito going against guys like Jose Ramirez. I just think Bauer, the matchup for him is the best. So Bauer probably has the highest upside of those 3. But I still think guys like Strasburg, don't forget Strasburg on DK is probably too cheap. Brandon Woodruff is definitely too cheap on DK. Should be a good night for pitching. I don't know that you can get to like a Bauer 4-stack of Dodgers or Astros, but yeah. Anyway, those are the pitchers we like. Just to surmise a couple batters, if you guys missed it earlier, Alex Bregman has one of the highest bomb ratings I've ever seen with decent sample size, a 4.42. 4 is the magic number, and a lot of times I'll get obscure skewed numbers based on pitchers or hitters with low sample size. But Bregman has sample size, and so does Matt Boyd. So a 4.42 bomb rating is actually nuts. So if you're looking for some pop tonight, maybe look at Alex Bregman. And then I have Jose Altuve as the number 2 on the bomb rating. And I only have 4 guys right now with bomb ratings over 4. Usually I can sit about 5, 6, 7 based on this slate size. So it just shows you how good the pitching options really are today. And yeah, no Albies tonight for the Braves. Oh, we got this Braves lineup. All right, let me double check this Braves lineup before we get out of here. We got Acuna and Freeman 1-2. Bro, that's nuts. I want it. Give it to me. I could put that in cash. Acuna, Freeman, Ozuna, Darno. Albie's in the 5 spot, so I think he is in the lineup. He's just in the 5 spot. Swanson, Ehire, Adrianza. Yeah, so you can give me 1 through 3, and I'd be happy. But 1 and 2 is maybe even a cash game handcuff. Yeah, I want that. So, boom. That's where I'm at. Chat, that's going to do it. I got to get out of here. I'm going to start prepping for NBA. If you do me a solid, hit that thumbs up on your way out. Like I said, anything else, twitter.com/gundeckers. And then jump in the rundfs.com VIP Discord, man. We're waiting on you. There'll be cats sweating baseball all day. And then we'll have the pre-lock voice chat for NBA and baseball about 2 hours before lock. Just jump in NBA chat, and we'll be town hall meeting for all the sports, man. I appreciate you guys making part of my afternoon, be part of your afternoon. And for those of you that are grinding NBA, I'll see you guys in about an hour and a half. We're going at 3:30 Eastern. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.